joint. Tiny little part. One that really shouldn't break. Cruz Pedregon and Ashley Force Hood. Ashley is 3-1, racing Cruz in first-round matchups. Explosion for Ashley. Second of the weekend. Cruz goes on to win it. Ashley Force Hood has the car go up. Her mom looks, walks away. You can bet John Force is going to be on track here shortly.
Man, all three Force cars out in the first round.
Trying too hard? What do you think?
Just like he says, sometimes it's destiny. Just your luck isn't right. We've all been there. I mean, you have those days when everything seems to be going right, and you have one little thing go wrong, and boom, there it is.
Dave Reef.
Now, Lori Force, twice in one weekend. Is it worth it?
I don't know. It's coming towards the end here. It's getting really rough. It's getting rough to watch. Can't imagine being in these cars. Both of these drivers, John and Ashley, this has been, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to talking to either of them.
I hear that.
It's going to be so tough. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how wives do it.
I think they got probably harder than anybody. It's kind of like watching your kid out there, watching my boy Michael play baseball or my daughter ride her horse. I was always more nervous than I was in the race car. But Ashley and John, they're both great competitors, and they're more mad at the fact that they're not going the second round than anything. Another look at it, watch the right side. That thing just went up. No indication for Ashley. It just blew up pretty quick. Luckily for Cruz, he was having problems, but he was still able to get the win. We're going to take another look at it here. She had good numbers early, good reaction time, and about 150, 200 feet out. Now, this is probably where they start bringing the power back on. I wonder if they could. Well, actually, it did spin the tires, but boy, it blew up quick. And I talked to Guido the other day about the one on Friday night. He said when it did spin the tires, the RPM up, it went so fast that all that fuel went in there and that boost, and it just backfired. Could have been exactly the same problem that they had on Friday night, because as soon as that thing started to spin the tires, boom, it went up. I mean, Ashley didn't even have a chance to catch it before that thing backfired the supercharger.
It's also kind of interesting damage to the body on that car, too. Of course, that's the replacement body after she had the big explosion on Friday night.
It's been an expensive weekend for John Force Racing. As we take another look at Friday night, as left side of your screen, same thing. The thing's going to go up there and spin the tires, and then just lift that body right off of the car. And as Dean Antonelli said, the conditions being what they are here at Maple Grove, being so good, when that thing just went up, the RPM came up so quick, and then all that fuel goes in the engine, that boost, it's not very happy, and then it backfires the supercharger. It almost looks like the same thing happened today.
I said it was a replacement body. We don't know that because the body that went in the air actually looked in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it did. It went up in one piece, and this one was probably mounted a little bit heavier, so when it did, it just split it right through the middle. That's tough.
So Funny Car has proved to be interesting with all three John Force cars out, and we are not even to the end of the first round of elimination. This time, the most recent out is Ashley with this explosion. Look at that thing go. And of course, John Force, who had just failed with a parts failure on the line, ran down to see what was going on with Ashley, while Lori, a bit panicked at the starting line. There's a lot of emotion in this, with 3 races to go in the countdown to the championship.
Absolutely devastating first round for John Force Racing. All 3 entries, by one means or another, have been eliminated at the top end, with Ashley Force Hood, husband Dan standing here, and they're anxious to get back to the pits. 2 major boomers in the course of a weekend. What does that do for your nerves?
I'm just disappointed, and actually this is just funny because this weekend could not go any worse than it did, or nearly couldn't go any worse than it did, and there's nothing left to do. We basically have ruined all of our crap, so we're going to start from scratch, go out there next week. My D team is putting on our special D team body for Vegas. Maybe that's the magic we need to do well. But this is definitely going to be one of those weekends that I will never forget, as much as I try. And it's just been devastating for us to do this. But there is 2 races left. And, you know, if you believe in Team Force, you believe we are not giving up. If we are on fire every round to the end of this championship, we're going after those guys, and we're going to try to get that #1 spot back.
Thank you.
Well, let's think now, as Bob Tasca and Dale Wershing come to the line, let's think a little bit about the points in Funny Car and whether or not, Mike, you have an interest in moving your line.
Well, with only 2 races left, you know, that's only 8 rounds. I'm going to leave it right where it's at and wait 1 more round. I knew you guys.
The whole stat department just booed you down. All of them, the whole crew over there.